A dear friend of mine is Buddy Andoe. Buddy is the longest active member of our church. And Buddy came to me and shared a tremendous story of what God did in his life. And I've asked him if he would come and share his story with you. I hope it'll be a message of inspiration that will show you the power of God and also will show you the power of prayer and how God can do some great things in our life to make himself known to us. So I hope you'll enjoy this wonderful time of listening to Buddy share about what God has done in his life.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something that I would like to share with you today. This is an event that happened in my life in 1993, and it was a milestone in my life. And I'm going to share it with you now. In the fall of 1993, I was working on a piece of farm equipment at my shop, getting ready for the coming harvest. I coughed a time or two, coughed up a little blood. This was not completely unusual because of some sinus problems that I have that had plagued me for a pretty good while. And I didn't pay too much attention to it. I continued on with my work, and it was either later on that day or the following day, I coughed up a considerable amount of bright red blood. This was something kind of unusual. And I decided that it'd been a long time since I'd had a physical examination. I went to the house, told my wife what happened. She said, "You probably ought to go see a doctor." I agreed with her. I called our family doctor, believe it or not. He was in, told the nurse what my problem was. And she told me, said, I'm not going to call the doctor's name, but Dr. So-and-so is here. And I just told him what you said, and he said, "Come on over here. He'd look at you now," which I did. And it had been a long time since I'd ever had a thorough physical examination. I told the doctor what had happened. He'd done a brief examination on me. He said, "Well, I don't see anything wrong right now." But I said, "Doc, I'd like to get blood tests, thorough body examination, and let me see what's going on." He said, "We can do that." He done the blood test and a thorough body examination, and he told me, said, "I want you to go to the radiology clinic and get some chest x-rays." Okay. And he says, "In 4 days, I want you to come back and we'll see what the results of the test are. But in the meantime, if I find something or get some information back that is urgent that you know, I'll call you and we'll go from there." With that, I left, got the radiology clinic to make the x-rays, went back to the shop and went to work. And I didn't hear anything else from the doctor. And the 4 days when that was up, I went back to see him. And right there, I'm going to stop and back up a little bit. Every once in a while, I would pray a prayer to Almighty God and Jesus Christ, and that prayer was this: "Lord, I would like for you to engineer some event, some happening, some incident, any way you want to put it together. And if you decide to do this, Lord, I want the results of what you do to make my belief in you greater, larger, more powerful, and bigger. I want what you do to bring me closer to you." And I would say that prayer at random times, just maybe once a week, maybe once a month, whenever I thought about it. The time period that we're talking about right here is something like 6 months to a year when I would say this prayer. Now, I went back to work at the shop, working on the farm equipment, and just zapped, just all at once, just in an instant. There was a very powerful thought that came into my mind, and that thought was, when you go back to see the doctor, he's not going to find anything wrong with you. You're okay. Well, as that thought entered my mind, and it was the most powerful thought that I have ever received, and it made me feel extremely comfortable. It made me feel extremely good. It made me feel extremely tranquil. And I remember feeling slightly weak, and I thought, well, I'm gonna sit down for a minute. And I did. And I experienced the most wonderful feeling that I have ever experienced in my life. And I had thought to myself, if this is what heaven is like every day, I'd like to go now. And that was something that was absolutely amazing to me. Ladies and gentlemen, that is something that happened to me right there that I'll never forget. And it was some 2 months after this took place. And I started to say the prayer again. Lord, I want you to engineer some event, do some happening, whatever you want to put in. I didn't get 3 words into that until another powerful thought came into my mind. And that thought was, He already has. And I realized right then that God had answered the prayer that I had been praying. And as I say, ladies and gentlemen, that was an absolute milestone in my life. And I thank you for the opportunity of listening to this. Thank you.